Hello. Um, it's it's a moment in time where things are happening quite fast and not exactly sure how they're gonna pan out, but whatever happens, it's gonna be pretty great. Um, I was promised at the beginning of 2024 that if I would put my faith where it belongs, excuse me, that in the end, whatever I spoke into the universe would materialize before my eyes, and that I would get exactly what I wanted. What I wanted was not money. What I wanted was a permanence to a moment I shared with another person. It's time for this to be given to me. It's time for that to materialize before my eyes. Money has never made my world go round, ever. I don't care about it. It's a resource to go do things. That's it. But as much as I like to go and do things, I enjoy sitting in one place and drawing things from all over the world. I can travel anywhere in my mind. So I guess having money for art supplies is important. If I can't source those materials without money, then yeah, I guess money at some point is important, but not that much. I've never cared to live a life uh, where money was the central focus, ever. That belongs to the generation behind me, that all they could talk about is money and making more of it. It is never that important to me. What's far more important to me are the life experiences I have with the ones I love and the people I enjoy most. There was one person in particular that I really enjoyed spending time with. So much has transpired now that this person probably thinks it's impossible. And on some levels, they're right. On some levels, they're wrong. They don't know. I was promised that in divine timing, exactly what I wanted would be brought and put before me for what I had endured. Very few people walk this earth that have dealt with the amount of pain that I've dealt. with and survived. That's not bragging. Matter of fact, I would do anything I could to make sure not another person lives a life as painful as mine. I wish I could take that away from the entire world and prevent the entire world from living a life so painful. But why I am here, what my purpose is no longer in doubt. It's absolute. I can't be stopped. I can't be controlled. I will not be arrested. I will not go to prison. Because that is not my path. I don't say this out of arrogancy. I say this out of truth. I'm not a criminal. I'm not a person who commits crimes. What Melissa Nelson and company has said against me will not stand. I don't care what anyone says. It will be tossed out. The charges will be dropped. It will be tossed out. I will sue Melissa Nelson and the city of Jacksonville for $144 million. I take no pride in saying that. I don't even care about the money. I plan on donating the money, and I want everyone to donate as much money as they possibly can give to the Halo Trust, Princess Diana's charitable foundation, to help prevent children from being burned and maimed by landmines and unexploded ordnance across the world, left over from wars that they were not a part of. They have, in much the same way that I had no clue those batteries could explode in my pocket because of a vape device, they have no clue that a tennis ball sized object can burn them alive, blow off their fingers, and put them in a burn unit. I'm suing Miss Nelson, and I'm suing her errors and omissions, and I'm suing the city of Jacksonville for going forward with these charges and these allegations, and every penny of that money I'm donating to the Halo Trust. Because I am innocent, and I did not send a single email with any intent of causing anyone harm, ever. And Miss Nelson knows this. Gabriella Rivera knows this as well. They know it. They just can't back down. So, I'm setting an example. This isn't about money. I will not accept a plea deal. I will not turn myself in. I will not capitulate. I will not surrender. I did nothing wrong. It is y'all who chose to listen to a person who was clearly suffering from a mental illness at the time. And may or may not have accepted bribes in order to come after me. I will not back down. If you didn't accept bribes, then the world needs the explanation as to why you would come after me the way you did without due process. Why did you come after me the way you did when it was so well known who I was and how the nature of my lawsuits were going? and why you chose to take the steps you chose to take. Why didn't you give this more consideration, professionally speaking? You owed it to yourself and to your career to look into who the person was, what they were wanted, what they were attempting to do, and what acts they could have had to grind based upon their behavior and what was at stake. And you chose to ignore it. So if you lose your career, I have limited sympathy for you. I am not guilty. I shouldn't even have to say that publicly. It's blatantly obvious to anyone that will take the time to look. Look at when the police were called. Look at what was going on and what was read. And look at the jealousy that took place. If you can't figure that out and you can't see it, you really shouldn't even have the office you have, to be honest with you. If you can't see that, if you can't see something so blatant as jealousy and your office being used by a narcissist to commit further abuse because someone doesn't want to go back, even if the emails read like they want to, some of them. This was a game being played between a narcissist and supply. And the supply had had enough. The supply seemed to think at the time the only way out was through. And so far I haven't been proven wrong. This is abuse committed against men. Against a man by a woman. And there's a group of women, a group of mean girls that have either sold their soul or just don't care about what true justice is. I have no arrogance in these words. I'm talking about justice. Every single time I've ever had to participate in court proceedings, just about every single time, except once. Every single time I've been screwed. I don't care if I get screwed this time too. I'm taking a stand. You're not going to push me around, Melissa Nelson. You're not going to use the state of Florida to frighten me. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I don't care if I get stabbed to death in Duval County lockup. I don't care. I'm not gonna plea to anything. I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. These were trumped up charges to begin with, and you know it. The way you've behaved about this is shameful. It's contemptible. No one should be proud of this. You certainly shouldn't. And I bet by the time this ends, you really won't be.